Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's Up With That, the show that brings you interesting people, places, cultures, and subcultures here in the South Bay, the San Francisco Bay Area, and beyond. And tonight, what's up with tattoos? What is a tattoo? And what are the procedures for applying a tattoo? Well, most of us may not know it, but tattoos have been around since the beginning of time, appearing from ancient Babylon to ancient Egypt. Well, here to discuss tattoos, tattoo culture, and the popularity of tattoos are two tattoo artists themselves. Please welcome to the show Martin and Jesse from the House of Pain. Hey, welcome to the show. What's up with that?
How you doing?
Fellas, why do you think that tattoos are so appealing to so many people?
Different strokes. I mean, people, they see something, they like it, they put it on them.
Mm-hmm.
For me, for instance, I just seen them on my father and my uncles, and it's stuck in my head. So I just,
So there's a lot of sentimental value in these things?
Oh yeah, anything you get, any tattoo you get, usually has a meaning. 90% of them do. Some of them.
So when people come into the House of Pain, they usually have a real specific idea, and then you take them through your designs and you find something that fits, or do a lot of people come in with something that they've...
Most of the time they have an idea, but a lot of times they'll come in and just like, I want that one, and pick it off the wall. So they just, some of them do the spur of the moment thing. And then once they get one, it's just like, it's an addiction.
Well, there's a lot of people out there that see people with a lot of tattoos, and they get this, image that this is a, not necessarily an art form, or it's physical mutilation or all that kind of stuff. Do you consider yourself and tattoos an art form? Do you
absolutely, absolutely. And it's very much an art form, and it's in the mainstream of society nowadays. They used to stereotype people. It used to be just like the bikers or the sailors got tattoos. Now, I've tattooed police officers, lawyers, judges.
And that's a really interesting point that you bring up about the stereotypes, because they have stereotyped. And if you look at the media, when you see somebody, I think of like Easy Rider or something like that, and you see these big old burly biker guys, and they're going around, and they got all these major tattoos and stuff, and they go into some bar and kick someone's butt, right?
Yeah.
And that probably lingers on. Being an owner of a tattoo parlor, what do you look for in a good tattoo artist? What do you consider a good quality tattoo artist?
One that is did a full apprenticeship, like at least like 3 years, clean and sterile, knows all the procedures, and can lay real good ink, and is an artist, in his own right.
Okay, so Jesse, you can join in whenever you want. Feel free to. What kind of training do you have to go through to become a tattoo artist?
Well, there's no schools, but certain artists will take an apprentice on, and they start from learning the counter, working with the customers, to drawing the stuff up, to getting the tattoo ready, and then learning the procedures of making the needles and then the sterilization. There's certain seminars you can go to.
Yeah.
Learning the proper medical, sterilization procedures.
Yeah, that's how I learned, was an apprenticeship with Marty, actually.
And were you like totally freaked out the first time you had to give a tattoo?
No, the first time I gave a tattoo was on myself.
Oh, really?
The second one was on a friend of mine. And so, it wasn't any big deal,
Yeah. Do you ever get the customer that comes in, though, that's just really
nervous?
Crabby? Well,
crabby.
Nervous and crabby. Definitely. Or whatever.
Yeah, if you got a real bad attitude, and you throw vibes, and you act like you don't throw respect our way, you're not going to get respect back. So in return, we probably won't even tattoo you.
Yeah.
And then the nervous ones are the ones that's fear of the unknown is a big part of it. They don't know what to expect. They come in, they want the tattoo.
Right.
They get themselves so worked up they almost pass out. That's every day.
Well, see, like for me, the idea of a tattoo gets me nervous, just because I think that it would hurt.
Well, I named it the House of Pain because it does hurt.
Yeah.
So it's
not unbearable.
It's not unbearable. It's more annoying than anything.
What kind of pain are we talking about? Like?
Bee sting, not as bad. Not as bad as the dentist, as we were
Yeah.
saying earlier.
Thank God for that.
It's annoying, and it
dull,
tends,
annoying
your body puts out endorphins that it tends to numb up on the bigger tattoos. It'll kind of numb up, and after a while, it's just I think it feels good.
So how do you so how do you calm somebody down? What do you say to them?
Depends on the person, really. Some people, once you start laying the ink in, they realize how bad it actually hurts, and then they mellow out.
Right.
For some people, you can't even touch them until they're mellow. And you just got to talk them down. Just tell them to relax and breathe, and listen to music or whatever.
So you get this. Let's set up a scenario here. You get someone and you touch them with the needle, and they're ow.
Then
That hurts!
Yeah,
I say, can you handle that? And if they say, no, I can't, I say, bye.
Yeah.
No, it's usually if they come in with a friend, then you get their friend talking with them, get them in a conversation, get their mind off of it, and that's the best way to do it. And you can pretty much get through with it. Some of them move and jump around, and it's just all you got to do is tell them, you keep moving, you wreck it, and you're gonna have to pay for me to fix it.
Right.
So,
I have this
then they sit real still.
I have this concept of somebody moving and suddenly zzz, they got this. Do you have to be licensed to have a tattoo parlor?
The legislature has not, in California, has not passed it for. It's not governed by the, Board of Health's not coming in and checking them. But as of this year, I believe they will, and I think that's a good thing because then everybody gets checked, and we use all disposable everything. We autoclave.
Right. Well, that's the next question I was going to get to. What kind of sanitation requirements, or are there sanitation requirements that you have to follow?
Yeah, there's procedures like a shop shouldn't even be a shop without an autoclave, and they should be wearing gloves, disposable needles, because it's not the AIDS thing, it's the hepatitis thing that you got to worry about. So it's everything we do is totally completely sanitary and disposable everything from the little caps all the way to the we wear gloves, and then the needles are disposable, and
so
everything else is autoclaved.
You wear gloves, I suspect, because there is some bloodletting.
It's just like any medical procedure. You have to use sterile technique.
Yeah, you don't want. The years ago, I did a few tattoos without gloves, and it's the slimy feeling, and it's not right. It's not a good thing, and
especially nowadays.
Exactly.
But how long does it take? Okay, let's say I was to come in. And I guess it's probably varies, but the average tattoo, people don't generally have 8 or 10 or 12 hours to spend on a tattoo. How long does your average tattoo take?
15, 20 minutes. If there's the walk-ins that come in, and the names are in the summertime. Names, roses, little hearts are real popular and stuff like that. Like 49er emblems are popular, stuff like that.
Yeah, right now.
Even
the
Raiders, they still got their diehards.
Oh yeah.
But something like, a small little thing like a name, as fast as you can script handwrite on paper, we can tattoo it. It takes longer to set up. So
if someone comes in with a design, you just trace. Would you trace it with a pencil or something on them, or?
Well, it's called a thermocopier. Is what it does is it actually takes the design and puts it into like a ditto form, and we shave the skin, clean it, we put men and deodorant actually is what we put on the skin, and then it transfers. It transfers the
speed stick.
It works the best.
And keeps them smelling fresh too, right?
Yeah, in case they're sweating while they're getting it. Yeah, we just peel that right off and then follow the design. And then there's sometimes you just can't do that. People that get other things, you just draw something on, or I've done it, freehand, just they tell me to go,
Well, earlier in the studio, we shot some of the designs that you have at the House of Pain, and we're going to look at a video clip of some of the designs that are out and available for those people who are interested in getting a tattoo. So let's look at that video clip right now. Hi, I'm here with Martin and Jesse from the House of Pain with some really cool tattoo designs. This is Martin. And Martin, why don't you explain to us some of these designs that you brought with you here to the studio?
We got like the pinup girls, the old 60s style, and then some more of the 60s style stuff. The hot rodders, like things like this. Then there's there's anything goes within the tattoo world. It's there's like the hearts are real popular. The ribbons with names in it. These are pretty traditional, the koi fish style. Japanese art.
What's the attraction to the koi fish?
Well, that's Oriental art. Is pretty much is the koi fish.
Mhm.
People pick them for certain reasons.
Right.
It has a meaning. I can't even think of the meaning of it right now.
Well, I'm sure they all have a meaning to.
Yeah, to
Right.
to certain persons, that each tattoo has a meaning. Yeah.
And Jesse, when you have people come in, what's one of the most popular designs that they ask for?
By and large, the most popular are names, hearts, and roses. Also, these tribals have gotten pretty popular.
Mm-hmm.
Zodiac signs are always pretty popular
Right.
as well.
Yeah, it seems like you see a lot and lots of tribal signs.
Yeah.
And how long does a tribal one of these tattoos take?
Anywhere from an hour to 10 hours. It depends on how big it is.
Yeah, and how much money they have, right?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. All right, well, that's some really cool designs you brought, and we'll be going back to the studio right now. All right. Well, as you can see, there's some pretty cool designs out there for those people interested in getting a tattoo. And right now, what I'd like us to do, or you to do, is to explain the process of getting a tattoo. How do we start? In front of us here, we have some equipment. The person comes in, they pick their design. You put them on what? A bed?
No, we have chairs. They're like barber chair, dentist chairs. Old dentist chairs.
Uh-huh.
They pick their design. We clean the skin. Ask them where they want it.
Right.
Shave whatever part of the body they want it on, and we put the stencil on and make sure they look at it and they agree on that's where they want it and all that. And then basically we set the machine up in front of the person. We don't have it set up already, so that they know that the needles are come out of a package. They're
Okay.
They get thrown away. They're used once, and as the barrels come out of it would have been in a package. You take it out. You put the needle in right here like this.
Yeah.
This is the barrel. This is the machine, and this particular machine's a liner machine. That one's for color. I'm not going to take the needle out of there. And
Normally
normally the needle will be running through here, and then you run the rubber bands around the front of the bar. So that would be running in there.
Right.
All right. So you did the men in deodorant thing, and put the stencil on them, and then basically what you do is tell them to just relax and don't move. And if you're working on their arm, if I was working on your arm, it'd be like this, and that's what you would hear.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd probably jump at first. And
Yeah, I think I probably would.
And that's basically it. It's
So, but there's so many colors involved. How do you work colors into this thing here?
and once you do the outline first, and then you go into the dark work. The shading of the tattoo design depends on the design. And if it was like you did the outline of a heart, all right, and then you wanted the inside red,
Yeah.
then you switch to the other machine, the color machine, and then you would just dip it in the red and go to town in the red.
I don't think they understand. The inks, generally, you dip the tip of it in a
there's a little
in
cup.
a little cup, and the ink's
Okay.
held there by surface tension. And when this goes down and it pushes the needle down through the ink, and it pulls some of the ink with it into the skin.
Oh, I
And that's
see.
how it gets in. A lot of people think that these hold the ink,
Ink
or whatever.
goes-
These
yeah,
are
those are-
That's what I
electromagnets.
thought. I thought
Yeah,
it was
that's
reading.
just a field that's broken when you push the pedal, because
you
that's the
basic-
power supply. And
It's like you're watercoloring or something. You're basically just dipping it into.
yeah, you
like
got to
different-
dip
Right.
it. Yeah, it sits in the reservoir.
But it's not watercolor.
Right.
It's homogenized tattoo ink.
It's homogenized tattooing ink. So
Yes.
there's a special.
Yeah,
kind of ink
there's
you
there's
use.
good ink and then there's bad ink, because they're like the older inks, they used to have like for instance the red ink used to have phosphorus in it, where the hotter you got the ink, the redder it would get to put it in the skin, and it would just be bright as heck. But then
Right.
in the sun and stuff, it'd raise up on you and stuff.
So how far actually then does the needle actually penetrate the skin?
Well, you have 7 layers of skin, so you only need 4, and the first one being the transparent epiderm. So it's actually like it's 4 layers. Any more than 4, then you're going to scar the person, and that's you want a tattoo, not a scar.
Yeah, 4 layers is pretty deep though.
Yeah.
Not,
If you go too
not
deep, it
really
goes
if you
in
think about it.
That's the
you get a
permanent
shot,
layer.
they go all the way into the muscle, so it's
So-
not even close
yeah.
to that.
So after you get your tattoo, then how long does it take for it to heal?
Depending upon the design, like if it was just a line, like a lettering, so a design, so a name,
About a week.
like a week, maybe 7 days, and then it flakes off like a sunburn.
Yeah.
And care of it is just use a little bit of Neosporin on it and just keep it moist, not letting it get real dry.
Right.
Yeah,
And so when someone comes into your parlor, do you give them something?
give them a
set of
care card.
guidelines?
Give them a care
Yeah.
card and guide them, tell them how to do
Uh-huh.
it, and the way to take care of it. And we can pretty much tell when someone comes in if they didn't take care of it, exactly what they did.
Mm-hmm.
You can look at it and see what they
Like,
did.
what are some of the common things that someone might do in not taking good care of a
swimming.
tattoo? Go swimming?
Go in
Put
the
too much
sun.
Neosporin.
Yeah, overdo it with the Neosporin for like 2 weeks straight or something, or keep the tattoo covered.
And what happens if you would overdo it with Neosporin?
It
for
tries to
2
pull
weeks?
the ink out of the skin, and what it does, it leaves it red around the edges, and it actually turns it into like an infection. Because
Oh, yeah.
the Neosporin is trying to pull the ink out.
Yeah, not only that, but it clogs up the
Yeah,
pores.
yeah, it
And
can't
the skin
breathe.
needs air to
heal, right.
That's the main thing is breathing and healing them.
So how old then do you legally have to be to get a tattoo?
In the state of California,
Yeah, in the state of California.
there is no law.
18, the consent of a parent, they can bring their kid in, but the kid could turn around and sue you, even with a consent form.
Uh-huh.
Depends on the shop.
So in our shop, all we do is 18, period. They show us ID if they look, close to the age.
Do you have a lot of people that come in
They try, yeah.
under the age of
Yeah,
18?
they try.
And what kind of stories do they tell you?
Everything,
Hey man, I showed you my ID some other time, you just forgot about it.
They're bringing their brother's ID, and I just tattooed him last week, so
Right.
I guess that's them.
Yeah, really, you sure look like somebody I saw a couple weeks ago.
What happened to your tattoo?
I know. I put too much Neosporin on it, it came off. What if somebody comes into your tattoo parlor and they are totally messed up? I mean, they smell like, they just drank a whole bottle of JD.
And show them where the door is, tell them to come back when they're sober, because
Uh-huh.
it just thins the blood. Alcohol thins the blood so much that you can't properly put the
Right.
ink in the skin. It just bleeds it out and bleeds it out.
But sometimes you'd think, okay, alcohol, that's one thing, it's a judge, you can smell that. What about drugs?
You can pretty much, you can tell when somebody's, either like if they're amped up or something because their heart's racing, you're holding their skin and they're just like, yeah. Either that or they're really damn nervous. But that healing of that too, anytime they're doing any kind of chemicals, the tattoo won't heal right either.
Uh-huh. So,
Because that all comes out your pores too, so.
So for what reasons then, other than, okay, alcohol, drugs, whatever, what other reasons might you turn away a client?
Severe skin condition.
Yeah.
Severe skin condition. Like some people might
Bad
have
skin.
a patch of psoriasis or something that they want to try and cover a tattoo with, and we
Ew.
can't do that. Or another example would be some people have really deep scars, and some scars can be tattooed, but others can't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it
The
just
ink will
doesn't
just
ta-
go
it
in
just
and
won't take.
That's really
Yeah.
interesting, because I would never have thought of that, but people would come in for a tattoo to cover up some imperfection on
Yeah,
the
just
skin.
disguise
All the time.
a scar or something.
That's
yeah.
really interesting.
Yeah,
Do you think in the United States the tattoo culture is growing?
Oh, definitely.
absolutely. It's growing and it's here to stay. It's been for years and years, and
It's obviously
Right.
here to stay.
it's mainstream. Like I said before, it's
Mm-hmm.
all walk of society's getting them nowadays. You can't just I've had whole families come in, mother, father,
Right.
sister, brother.
Well, you're fully tattooed. Well, not fully, but your entire back is tattooed.
Yeah, sleeves and
I-
a shirt.
Right, and I've seen actually photos of people who are tattooed from head to toe.
Yeah.
Serious tattoos, and most of them are usually owners or tattoo parlors.
Or they're in the
whatever.
circus.
Or they're in the circus. Yeah, true. So within this tattoo culture, then, is there a big kind of sort of well, check out my tattoos, and when do you have this thing?
Yeah, if everybody sitting around showing their tattoos. The guy that doesn't have one, he don't fit in. It's like.
It's like
You know-
cars or something. People that are into cars are like, yeah, look at my car. Look what I did to
Right.
this car. Or motorcycles, any hobby
Right.
really. People collect tattoos.
It's like you're walking down the mall, let's say, you see somebody who's heavily tattooed, and there's this
Well,
instant, so hey, what's up with that kind of thing? right?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. All right, what if you've done a tattoo and the person says, I don't like this?
Well, they picked it, so
Yeah.
it's on that. It wouldn't be nothing that we did because it'd have to be a judgment call on them. It'd have to be something that they weren't happy with, or their mate wasn't happy with them having it, and we could cover it up, put another design over it.
Oh, you can do that?
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
one thing to dislike a tattoo maybe because the work wasn't good or whatever, but if you know you don't like the design, then that's you know that
That's
you're
your
the one that
problem.
picked it. You know.
Yeah, it's like if someone comes in and says,
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what I want, will you
And-
pick it for me? We can't tell them what they're going to
So
get.
do you make them then, if they come in and pick a design, do they have to sign a form that they're saying that? you
Well,
know,
the release form thing, I don't like using it because one thing, they come in and you're having them sign a release saying, okay, if we mess up, so you're
Exactly.
telling them right away, if
Exactly.
we mess up, we're not responsible. So I'd
Right.
rather just do good, clean work and
Mm-hmm.
heck with the release because we know they're 18, we're checking their ID, and you know they're gonna get a good job. They're not gonna get
Mm-hmm.
a if we mess up
Right.
kind of thing. It's not gonna.
Yeah.
I don't like
It's not
that.
even a factor.
A lot of tattoos that you see, I think a lot of them are self-afflicted, are gang tattoos. Is that a problem? Do you have gang members coming into your places and asking for?
Yeah, but their money's green too, so I mean, it's
Exactly.
not.
Yeah.
Unless they come in with the whole gang and they want something for like nothing,
Mm-hmm.
then you know I just show them where the door is. But other than that, they
To each his own.
yeah.
Right.
That's
What
what they
about
want.
like allergic reactions or things like that? Do you ever have?
It's rare, but it sometimes
To the Neosporin.
yeah, to the Neosporin, over medicating it is
Mhm.
usually the most of it.
Yeah.
To the inks, not anymore. It used to be. 'Cause
Inks,
I had a tattoo done here, and there was red in here, and the red raised up, and like I said earlier, it raised up. I mean, you can see the outline of it. It raised, and it disappeared after the years of the sun and everything.
It's the one that glowed in the dark.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you ever
Toxic.
feel? Okay, now you have a lot of tattoos. Do you ever feel that you get some negative reactions from people? Do you ever feel people are like, "Oh my God, look at
Oh
this
yeah.
guy"?
Oh yeah. Getting off the motorcycle with a tank top on in the summertime, they're like,
What do they do? They like start walking away
I
from
get
you?
to the front of any line.
Sometimes.
Really?
You know, it's like the party to the ocean. You'll walk in this door.
Just give them some really wicked look, right?
Yeah, just-
Hey, I'm in a hurry.
I just pass out my cards there.
So, have you ever actually had someone come up to you and say something negative to you about your tattoos? Like,
have.
why do you do that? Or, you know, like,
I walked in onto the light rail one day and I had a Dead Kennedy shirt and it had a slogan
All
on
right,
it.
Jell-O.
It's I think it said
Go
freedom from
Biafra,
religion.
yeah.
And she saw the shirt, she saw the tattoo, and it's a sleeveless shirt. I got some more up here, and she just like was looking at me and she looked like she was gonna cry. It was-
Oh, really?
yeah.
I had
she
a
was-
lady in the supermarket say, how disgusting, and I said, have you looked in the mirror lately?
And then she's like, boom!
No, she left her package.
Okay, let's get to a couple more, a little more interesting question here. What is the strangest? You know, it's got to come out. This is what's up with that. Okay.
What's up
What
with
is the strangest place that you've ever been requested to put a tattoo on
requested.
or asked?
Well, there's you know,
Anywhere you
male
can
male
imagine.
genitals I just won't do, period. But
Mhm.
females I
requested.
have.
Yeah.
You know, so it's
So when you
Like
say a
the tongue.
female genital, I mean inside or right?
Sometimes.
yeah,
Really?
I've done it. Yeah, to the Rolling Stones emblem. You know,
And so they put it inside
it was-
so that
it
nobody
was-
would see it, right? That's what it's-
whoever she wanted to show. Yeah.
How about you had something to say?
Yeah, I mean, same thing. You know, people get them everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, tongues, lips,
Yeah.
all over.
Yeah, I mean
Ears.
that's right.
You know.
How about the strangest design that you've ever been asked to put on somebody?
I've done some real ones that are real personal. You know, that nobody else would ever have. This one guy, he was in Vietnam and he got shot down and all his arm back here was all gone, all this back here. So he put Yosemite Sam catching a fish out of his holes in his arm. It was
When
pretty
he was
cool.
gone, it was like blown off, or
Yeah,
Was it
he
all
got
scarred up?
shot out of a helicopter and it
Uh-huh.
was just like gone. Really big hole in his arm here,
Oh
big
my
old
God,
hole
oh,
here.
really?
Yeah, and he had a sense of humor about it, you know, which was really good.
that's pretty.
He wanted to give people something else to look at, so he put
Uh-huh.
Yosemite Sam there, catching a fish out of it. I thought that was one of the coolest, oddest
Yeah.
tattoos.
So, the most popular tattoos are, like you said before, the hearts.
The names,
Mm-hmm.
and they're the most covered up.
Yeah. What is the most elaborate tattoo that you've ever put on?
Full back, stomach, side, chest, arms, you know, full upper body.
Mm-hmm.
That's I started on his legs too, so he skipped the midsection here.
Yeah.
And just did like boxers down.
So do you have any clients that either of you've had for years and years,
yeah.
and you've basically been tattooing them
Yep.
to the point where it's their entire body almost?
Pretty close, yeah.
Yeah. And how much money then? It's
We got like a
impressive,
$30 minimum, for someone who comes in and gets a name. If someone comes in and just gets a little dot, they're paying $30. We throw the needle away when we're done, and it can go up to, if they want a custom, back pattern, it could go from anywhere from from 3,000-4,000 to however much they want to spend. They want to keep going. It's basically about $100 an hour for custom work, custom color work, and it's sky's the limit.
Okay, so you both are tattoo artists. Okay, what is the difference between a real tattoo artist and just a flash in the pan?
A tattooer?
A tattooer.
If you're still walking around with all your fingers.
If you still walk around.
There's a lot of shops that have just all they do is what's on the wall. That's all they can do. They can't do nothing else, and they'll only do what's on the wall. They can't like go off, off stencil. They have to have the stencil, and then that's all they'll do. They can't they can't draw. All they can do is basically run this patterns that are all, and they'll go over and over and over for
just wannabes,
however long they're there. Yeah, they're not as
all right. Well,
creativity.
And creativity is certainly the thing for any artist, and for something like
you want to be versatile. Someone comes in, they want this. You want to be able to draw it and make them happy.
Well, that's all the time we have for What's Up With That. I want to thank Martin and Jesse for coming on the show. It's been very informing, and I hope that the viewing audience is much more informed about tattoos. And if you're walking down the street and you see something interesting and you wonder to yourself, hey, what's up with that? Well, tune into our show, What's Up With That, and maybe you'll find exactly what you're looking for. And we'll see you next week on What's Up With That. Good night, everybody. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's Up With...
For instance, I just seen them on my father and my uncles, and it's stuck in my head, so I just,
So there's a lot of sentimental value in these things?
Oh yeah, anything you get, any tattoo you get usually has a meaning. 90% of them do, some of them...
So when people come into the House of Pain, they usually have a real specific idea, and then you take them through your designs and you find something that fits, or do a lot of people come in with something that they've...
Most of the time they have an idea, but a lot of times they'll come in and just like, I want that one, and pick it off the wall. So they just, some of them do the spur of the moment thing. And then once they get one, it's just like, it's an addiction.
Well, there's a lot of people out there that see people with a lot of tattoos, and they get this, image that this is a, not necessarily an art form or... That, the show that brings you interesting people, places, cultures, and subcultures here in the South Bay, the San Francisco Bay Area, and beyond. And tonight, what's up with tattoos? What is a tattoo? And what are the procedures for applying a tattoo? Well, most of us may not know it, but tattoos have been around since the beginning of time, appearing from ancient Babylon to ancient Egypt. Well, here to discuss tattoos, tattoo culture, and the popularity of tattoos are two tattoo artists themselves. Please welcome to the show Martin and Jesse from the House of Pain. Hey, welcome to the show. What's up with that?
How you doing?
Fellas, why do you think that tattoos are so appealing to so many people?
Different strokes. I mean, people, they see something, they like it, they put it on them.
Mm-hmm.
For me,
tattoo artist. What do you consider a good quality tattoo artist?
one that is did a full apprenticeship, like at least like 3 years, clean and sterile, knows all the procedures and can lay real good ink and is an artist, you know, in his own right.
Okay, so Jesse, you can join in whenever you want. Feel free to. What kind of training do you have to go through to become a tattoo artist?
Well, there's no schools, but certain artists will take an apprentice on, and they start from learning the counter, you know, working with the customers to drawing the stuff up, to getting the tattoo ready, and then learning the procedures of making the needles and then the sterilization. There's certain seminars you can go to. Yeah. Learning the proper medical, you know.
It's physical mutilation or all that kind of stuff. Do you consider yourself and tattoos an art form? Do you
absolutely, absolutely. And it's very much an art form, and it's in the mainstream of society nowadays. I mean, they used to stereotype people. It used to be just like, you know, the bikers or the sailors got tattoos. Now, I've tattooed, you know, police officers, lawyers, judges.
And that's a really interesting point that you bring up about the stereotypes, because they have stereotyped. And if you look at the media, when you see somebody, I think of like Easy Rider or something like that, you know, and you see these big old burly biker guys, you know, and they're going around, and they got all these major tattoos and stuff, and they go into some bar and kick someone's butt, right? Yeah. And that probably lingers on. Being an owner of a tattoo parlor, what do you look for in a good